Hey all, welcome to ShareTrack. This is Raj here, friends. Today I'm going to talk to you about my reactions to Caribou Biosciences Q3 2023 earnings release. And it is a good reaction. So with that said, let's get started. Welcome back, friends. Today, Caribou released its Q3 2023 earnings report, and I'm really happy to see the earnings report. As I mentioned during our weekly spotlight videos, Sandeep and I will be reviewing this on Monday weekly spotlight video. One of these Mondays, maybe not the next Monday, but afterwards. So I'm not going to talk too much about Caribou. My remarks will be focused on just the Q3 earnings report, but we'll cover Caribou in detail because it's going to be the next share in the spotlight after CRISPR and Bluebird. So here are a few things that stood out to me in the earnings report. The first thing is that there are now 3 therapies in phase 1 clinical trials, so I'm really happy about that. The other thing is that Caribou said we plan to meet with the FDA to discuss a potential pivotal trial in the second line LBCL patients for our lead program CB010, and we intend to share the agency's feedback by the end of this year. So this does 2 things for me. One is that sometimes pivotal studies can also lead to a BLA. So let us see what they have to inform us at the end of the year. The second thing is that we are going to get another catalyst at the end of the year for Caribou Biosciences, assuming that it's a positive news. So overall, I'm happy with the fast pace of progress here. And we'll also now see in the report that $135 million worth of equity dilution already happened in Q3, and also Pfizer invested $25 million worth of equity. So the news of equity dilution perhaps led the share to lose value along with the pessimistic market sentiment, but things seem to be changing now. Let me show it to you in the TradingView platform. Well, here we are in the TradingView platform, and I'm looking at the Caribou Biosciences chart, and each of these candles is a 1-day candle. And today's candle was a very small green candle which closed exactly at the same level as yesterday, but it had the support of the 100-day simple 100-day exponential moving average, which is this fluorescent green line out here, and it was restricted by the 200-day exponential moving average. Now, when I look at the technicals out here, the first good thing I see here is that the momentum is jumped above average, which is a good thing. MACD is bullish. That's again another good thing. And I'm also seeing potentially a golden cross forming out here because the 9-day exponential moving average is about to cross the 20-day exponential moving average, which is this orange line out here. So that will be a good positive. And tomorrow I am thinking that we should be able to cross 5.09, which is the 200-day exponential moving average. So if we make that into a support, then the next challenge will be the resistance at 6.27. That said, I would like to show you how well they have done on the EPS, which is the basis of my optimism. The street was expecting a EPS of negative 0.416, whereas they came in at negative 0.12, which constitutes a more than 70% outperformance on the expectations. So this is going to drive bullishness in the share. The revenue came in 651% above expectations, but friends, there is a 20 million odd payment from AbbVie to terminate its engagement that was not earned, but it came through because of a contractual obligation. So if you remove that, this is going to be their revenue is going to be slightly below, maybe 0.25 million below the estimate of the street. So as I said before, for companies like this, you don't really bother about the revenue because it's difficult to estimate them. But once they start having a few monetized products and it's possible to predict their earnings more accurately, then we should put more weightage on that. With that said, let's now move on to their earnings release to see progress of pipeline items and finances. So in terms of pipeline and technology for Caribou 010, that is CB010, Caribou continues to enroll second-line patients in the dose expansion portion of their ongoing ANTLER phase 1 clinical trial based on positive data from the dose escalation portion of the trial. And CB010 is an allogenic anti-CD19 CAR T cell therapy in development for relapsed or refractory B-cell non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And the dose expansion data will be used to determine the recommended phase 2 dose. And we already have the good news that they're going to talk to FDA and give us some feedback at the end of the year for CB010. Then we have news about CB011, where Caribou continues to enroll patients at a dose level 2 in the dose escalation process of the ongoing camouflage phase 1 trial of CB011, which is an allogenic anti-BCMA CAR T cell therapy for relapsed or refractory multiple myeloma. And Caribou has concluded dose level 1 without any dose limiting toxicities and has received study steering committee clearance to proceed with dosing patients at dose level 2. So that's also good news. And when it comes to CB012, Caribou recently announced clearance of the company's IND application by the US Food and Drug Administration, which basically means that now they can make the therapy and move it across state lines and have a facility where they can administer it to patients for their clinical trials. So they can now get ready to commence phase 1 clinical trials for refractory acute myeloid leukemia. And the clinical site activation is underway for the Amplify phase 1 clinical trial, and Caribou plans to initiate patient enrollment by mid-2024. That is to evaluate CB012 at ascending dose level, starting at dose level 1. So that's also a very good move. And as a result of all this, we're going to get a bunch of catalysts in the middle of 2024. So that's going to be another good thing. Another thing I like in this report is the anticipated milestones. They have a separate section there. In that, they are saying that Caribou plans to meet with the FDA to discuss a potential pivotal clinical trial in second-line LBCL patients and plans to share FDA feedback by year-end 2023. I believe that sometimes if the pivotal study is sufficient size and the phase 1 has given good results, then there's a possibility that they will be eligible to apply for a BLA. Keeping my fingers crossed, I don't know if that is true. But let's hope for the best and see what we hear back from them. The company also plans to report initial dose expansion data in second-line LBCL patients from the ANTLER trial, which is ongoing. And they're going to do that in first half of 2024. Again, another catalyst out there. And CB011 is going to provide dose update on dose escalation as the camouflage phase 1 clinical trial continues. And CB012 is going to initiate patient enrollment in Amplify phase 1 clinical trial by mid-2024. So there's a whole bunch of catalysts that are going to happen on mid-2024. That will be on top of the catalyst that Caribou will get when Exacell and Lovocell boost Bluebird and CRISPR Therapeutics. So that will also be a positive. So there will be a halo effect. And while the halo effect may fade for other companies which are very far away from monetizing, but because of these three catalysts and the improved EPS, I think there will be a little more momentum left in Caribou Biosciences, and the shares will continue to move up. Again, these are all my personal opinion, not financial advice. So please do your due diligence before you invest in Caribou. Now on to cash and cash equivalents. They have 396.7 million at the end of September 30, 2023 as compared to 317 million as of December 31, 2022. This includes approximately 134.4 million in net proceeds from the company's underwritten public offering and 25 million equity investment from Pfizer. So it was a bittersweet quarter with AbbVie leaving and Pfizer coming in. And Caribou expects its cash equivalents and marketable securities will be sufficient to fund its current operating plan into Q4 2025. By that time, if CB010 gets monetized, further equity dilutions can be avoided. Revenue from Caribou's licensing and collaboration agreement came in at 23.7 million for the 3 months ended September 30, 2023 compared to 3.3 million for the same period in 2022, and this is mainly because of 21 million in revenue recognized due to AbbVie collaboration and license agreement ending, including 20.8 million of revenue recognized upon termination of this agreement. as previously disclosed, which was the remaining deferred revenue balance from AbbVie's $30 million upfront payment in February 2021. So if you had to remove the $20 million, then Caribou comes in at minus 0.288 million, below revenue expectation of 3.15 million that I showed you in the TradingView platform. But as I always said, revenue doesn't matter for these companies because they don't have a fixed product which is monetized. Now on to research and development expenses, which were 28.6 million for the 3 months ended September 30, 2023, as compared to 20 million for the same period in 2022. And the increase is primarily due to advanced costs in pipeline programs, including CB010 and CB011, which are going through phase 1 clinical trial. And also there were personal related expenses, including stock-based compensation due to headcount increases and facilities and other allocated expenses. However, general and administrative expenses were down by 0.1 million. They came in at 9.7 million for the 3 months ended 30th September 2027, as compared to 9.8 million for the same period in 2022. This decrease was primarily due to low patent prosecution and maintenance cost and lower insurance, accounting, and other services related expenses. This decrease was partially offset by an increase in personnel related expenses, including stock-based compensation due to headcount increases. Caribou reported a net loss of 10 million for the 3 months ended September 30, 2023, compared to 26.6 million for the same period in 2022. This was a great performance considering that the street expectation of an EPS was around minus 0.416, whereas the EPS ended up being minus 0.12. So overall, I think that post-market trading, even though it came in a bit low, there was a negative in the post-market trading for Caribou. I think it was down 6 cents or something, but I don't think it's going to matter when the market opens tomorrow on the 8th. Because I think the Q3 report itself is not a negative catalyst. The EPS should be a bullish signal, assuming that equity dilution has already been priced in. Taken with the technicals overall, I think Caribou should commence a bull channel, assuming the broader market sentiment remains intact. So friends, apart from this, I have a word of caution also, because the EPS came up so good due to that $21 million windfall that was not expected to come in. The market expectation has got to be tempered that the next EPS may not be so good. So you have to be careful, because when the next EPS comes, and if there are no miracles in between, it's not going to look as good. And the expectations, if they are not tuned properly, we could have a potential drop in the share when Q4 earnings are reported. So just keep that in mind, write it somewhere in a book somewhere, and we'll come and revisit this and see if my prophecy is true. With that said, I would like to end this video. I would be glad to receive your feedback, because I read your comments and it educates me, also gives me new ideas. So yeah, I look forward to your comments. With that, I would like to end this video here. Thanks and have a great day. I'll catch up with you again in the next video. Bye for now.